that was June 5th, I was 23.1% body fat. So I went from 32.5 to 23.1%. And you look better and people notice. It's motivating. I feel much better. I feel more confident in my skin. I walk around feeling proud of those accomplishments. And so it's totally sustainable. Seeing those results is what maintains my ability to sustain that, I think. I mean, these guns, right? Is what we're looking at. So
Insane. Huge peak right there too. I love it. I
I
love
love
it.
it. I just want to say thank you, Adam. I love the structure. I love the community. I love reading everybody's success stories. I don't chime in as much as others, but it's just
That's all
great to
right.
see what people are doing. I just thank you so much that the structure and the guidance has been awesome.
Share your story, just kind of sharing, what you've been able to accomplish so far. You've been doing so much, and again, I'm just really, really proud of what you've been able to accomplish so far. So, if you don't mind, I'd love to go through some questions with you and kind of just have you share your story a little bit about what you've accomplished. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, awesome. So, yeah, talk to me a little bit about where you were, prior to joining the program.
So I work in the health and wellness field, so I'm familiar with nutrition and fitness. And before I linked up with you, I was mostly running, not really tracking calories or macros. I
Hmm.
ate relatively healthy, but looking back, I know I was eating probably way more than I should have. I
Hmm.
definitely enjoy food. I always made sure I got 10,000 steps per day, so I was active, but I didn't have a set schedule as far as when I was going to work out, what I was going to do. I think at that point in time, I knew that strength training was important and I knew the benefits of it, but
Hmm.
I loved running and I struggled with finding balance between the two. And
Hmm.
so I would, strength train occasionally and I'd be consistent for, a month or so. And then I'd go back to running and then the strength training would fall off. So
Hmm.
that's kind of where I was before we got started. But I
Okay.
realized too that I was getting older. My weight was higher than it had ever been.
Hmm.
I retired from the military in October of 2018, and my weight just kind of went up a little bit from there. Wasn't
Hmm.
horrible, but it was higher than it should have been. At that time, I felt like I lost my confidence being in the health and wellness field. And if I wasn't
Hmm.
projecting that image to other people, then I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. So,
Yeah, makes total sense. And if you don't mind, I'd love for you to share the actual title of your occupation and how old you are.
so I'm a registered dietitian by trade, but I'm a
Okay.
supervisory health educator. I work at Armed Forces Wellness Center in Arizona,
Okay.
and I am 54.
54 years old. Okay. Awesome. And what were some of your limiting beliefs, before you got started into something like this? Because, yeah, you're educated, you're knowledgeable about this stuff, but here you are in jumping into a program trying to get some help navigating some of these things. So, kind of share a bit of your limiting beliefs before you got started.
Probably one of the biggest things that kept me from signing on with you or with any trainer was I didn't think that I wanted to spend that amount of money on myself. I always thought also that for years I was able to maintain a healthy weight by running. And I'm like, well, I know what I need to do. I need, I work in the wellness field. Why do I need a trainer? And so I think I felt like I also running would be okay and it was too challenging to do everything.
Hmm.
I held other people accountable, but I couldn't keep myself accountable. So that's
So
kind of where I
good.
was limited.
Mm. And what were some of the things that you had maybe tried up until that point before you realized, okay, I do need to ask for help? Was there anything specific? I know for many ladies, especially in their 50s, they implement a bunch of different things to try and solve some of these problems. What were some of the things that maybe you tried up until this point, uh, looking to fix this issue?
Yeah, I think, I would talk to myself and say, okay, I'm going to run this many days a week and I'm going to do a
Mm,
couple days a week of, body weight things. Or I think we all fall into the trap of just looking up a program because I'm very big on structure. Being
mhm.
retired from the military, structure is important to me. So I would just find something, that would say, okay, this is what you need to do. I needed, these are the exercises you need to do, and this is how much. And
Hmm.
I would find something, but I wouldn't stick to it.
Makes total
But I
sense. Makes total sense. And so, what have you been able to accomplish within the program? I'd love for you to kind of give me an idea of what the numbers look like, how much weight you've lost, what you've accomplished, and the timeline. Kind of share some details with that.
Yeah, it's been awesome. In December of 2025 is when I started the program with you,
Hmm.
and I was 138 pounds. So,
Hmm.
a lot of people will say, well, that's, you didn't weigh a whole lot. You didn't have a lot to lose. But,
Hmm.
when you're 5'2" and you're 138 pounds, that's a lot. So I was
Yeah, makes
138
sense.
pounds, and I have access to a bod pod and an in-body where I worked. So
It's
I did
awesome.
an in-body, and at the time I was 32.5% body fat in December.
Okay.
So I started with you, and my last in-body, which was the beginning of June, my weight today is at 121. That's where I've been averaging for about a month. So that's what, 17 pounds. That was June 5th. I was 23.1% body fat. So I went from 32.5 to 23.1%.
Incredible. Incredible. And do you feel like what you've been able to accomplish so far actually feels sustainable? Because for a lot of people who would say, okay, well, Jennifer's been able to accomplish this goal for herself, is that actually like a maintainable thing? What would make you feel like, overall, in terms of the approach that you've had so far, would you say that that's something that you feel like is actually sustainable for yourself?
Absolutely. A lot of people think that they have to give up everything they love and they've got to follow this strict regimen and there's no room for flexing. And as soon as you have a taco, you're going off the edge. So I said taco because I love tacos. So tacos are important to me.
Same
Um,
here.
I think it is totally sustainable. And I think trusting the process and getting to where you feel amazing and you look better and people notice, it's motivating and kind of helps you stay on track. And the biggest thing is just I feel much better. I feel more confident in my skin. I walk around feeling proud of those accomplishments. And so it's totally sustainable. And I think that seeing those results is what maintains my ability to sustain that, I think.
The momentum is just so big. I mean, whenever you see a number like that, especially when you have some of those tools on hand to measure
Mhm.
some of that progress, it's a little bit more in detail. I know not everyone has access to those tools and those materials, but I think just taking a look at the data has allowed us to kind of maintain that momentum and keep you motivated to want to continue to, see results and keep something that's sustainable intact with what you're following so far. So I'm glad you bring that up. I'm glad we can have a taco, share your accomplishment too. I know that you just entered into not a contest, but you did a run here recently. What did you accomplish on that run?
So my husband and I, my family, we it's I guess it's a tradition now because this is the second time we've done it. But we did this race last year. It's called Run with the Roosters. The reason it's called that is because in Arizona it's really hot in this time of year,
Oh,
and
it's like 110 degrees. Goodness.
so they start that race with the Roosters. So it's at 5 o'clock in the morning when that race starts
Got it.
because it's the coolest time of day. Last year again, I was 138 pounds,
Hmm.
probably about the same, and I could still run, but that course is super hilly.
Mm.
And last year when I did it, I had to walk in certain parts of it, and even though I'm a runner, I struggled, and I ended up finishing like fifth in my age group, and I was really
Hmm.
disappointed because I felt like, oh, I can
Mm.
do better. So this
Hmm.
year we decided to do it again, and again I decreased the amount of running I was doing because back then that's all I was doing was running. I wasn't doing any strength training consistently. So fast forward, and I've been strength training 5 days a week. Pretty much
Hmm.
don't miss a workout. I don't think I've missed one. If I do, I move
Yeah.
it to the right.
Right.
We ran that race, and I placed first in the age group. I dropped my time, I think 3 minutes, I think from last year, and I
Oh,
didn't
three
walk any of
minutes.
that run. I
Wow.
didn't walk at all.
Incredible.
So it's pretty cool.
How long was the race? I don't know if you mentioned that.
4 miles.
4 miles. And okay, how long did it take you to run those 4 miles?
36 and some change, so 9 minute pace.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. And I think that's such a fascinating accomplishment, especially since the emphasis throughout this time together wasn't even on the running or training for a race to begin with. But I mean, just the strength training, losing the body fat, getting yourself to feel lighter had allowed you to prepare for something like that and actually come out on top, be first
Yeah,
place, which
absolutely.
is
Pretty cool.
incredible. So cool. So
Yes.
cool. It's such an awesome accomplishment. So what would you say, to anyone that is on the verge of starting, or even to Jennifer of November of 2025 or December of 2025, what would you say to her prior to joining something like this, someone that's on the verge of starting something like this?
It's hard to look forward and know how you're going to feel or how you're going to look, but I think
Hmm.
investing in yourself and finding out what your why is. So, my why was that I'm getting older and I wanted to be more confident and more able mobility wise, to do things and just continue to be active. So finding out your why, invest in yourself and just be consistent and trust the process because at first it's hard and you don't see things and then the next thing you know someone's commenting about your guns. So
It's crazy, right?
right, and I mean these guns, right? This is what we're looking at, so
Insane. Huge peak right there too. You can see the lighting.
absolutely.
It's just cut.
Oh yeah,
I love it. I
I
love
love
it.
it.
Well, Jennifer, I mean, it's one thing to say that, it's incredible what you've been able to accomplish, but it didn't come without a lot of the hard work and the consistency that you placed into it. It's not about just the tools that we utilize throughout this time, but it's you. It's the amount of work you've placed into it and the constant communication, just letting us know, hey, this is what's going on. I'm going to make changes here. I'm going to be able to stick to this, but I just need to move some things around. But all in all, it was the consistency. You put in the work, and congratulations to you. I'm so very proud of what you were able to accomplish up until this point. I know there's so much more that's involved. Is there anything else that you feel is in that next level of things that you want to accomplish? I'll leave our last question for that. Anything else that you feel like you have on your list of accomplishments or things that you want to do or aim for now that you've been able to accomplish the things that you have up to this point?
Yeah, I think right. I think I'm at a stage now where I just really want to work on more definition and just keep going with the strength training. And then as far as the running's concerned, I want to keep winning age group categories. Next year, I'm going to be
Absolutely.
in a different group.
Okay.
I realized I
Yeah.
turned 55. I'm going in the next group, and it's scary. So,
Yeah.
but I'll be the youngest in that group. So, there's that. So.
Yeah, for sure. Any bigger races you think maybe going in for a 10K or a half marathon? I'm just curious.
So I've done 8 marathons in the past when I was younger, and I really
Yeah.
enjoyed them, but it's just a lot of work. So I don't think there's any full
Oh.
in the future, but definitely halves and 10Ks. I think I want to maintain the balance of the strength training
Mhm.
because I've fallen in love with strength training. Just don't tell my running side that I said that.
Yeah, it's a big difference whenever you start, especially seeing the definition that you have, the toning, the sculpting, leaning out, and actually seeing your body change in real time. It's quick to fall in love with, that's for sure. Awesome, Jennifer. Well, I appreciate your time. I thank you again for jumping in and just telling your story. It helps so many women in this same age group be able to, reprioritize the mind a little bit, reshape their mind a bit. So again, thank you for just setting aside, 10, 15 minutes to chat and tell your story. I really appreciate it.
I just want to say thank you, Adam. I love the structure. I love the community. I love reading everybody's success stories. I don't chime in as much as others, but it's just
That's all
great to
right.
see what people are doing. I just thank you so much that the structure and the guidance has been awesome.
Thank you so much. It means the world to me. I really appreciate the feedback. And yeah, I'm happy to have you here. Happy to have you here.
Let's
But
let's keep
thanks so
going.
much. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Jennifer. Well, you enjoy your weekend. Thanks so much. Okay.
Thank you.